Okay, okay. Purple Jade collected bits of flower dew before running over and carefully pouring these into several flower pots. It then stared at the pots without blinking its big purple eyes. Although the last time it planted flowers, it had not evolved smoothly, the cub still was not discouraged. It continued passerby otherworldly flower species which were challenging to grow. Passerby saw a few petals on its head and squatted to help remove them. Howl. Bye, don't touch my ear. It's itchy. The cub glared at him. If he interrupted its perception again, it would kill him. Let's go. Nothing will happen in such a short time. If we don't leave, we'll be late. Passerby shook his head and spoke helplessly. Today was October 1st, the first day of the 5 schools joint exam, so he must hurry to school. Howl. Me. I can't evolve all because you are always bothering me. The cub glared unhappily at him before getting up and following him. Since he was leaving for a month, Passerby did not ride his electric scooter and walked to the school, instead. Did you wake up late today? Why are you only here now? Asked Chen Roshua when he arrived. Passerby glanced at the cub and replied blankly, Yes, I woke up late, it has nothing to do with a certain pet. Howl. Yes, it's not my business in the first place. The cub held its head high, having no intention of admitting its mistakes. Okay. Are you ready? A giant Scorpio will come and bring us to the monster wilderness, Chen Roshua said. I'm ready, don't worry. Passerby nodded. Big brother Passerby, sister Roshua, can you take care of us weaklings when we're inside? Yongju leaned over and smiled. That's right. We'll treat you to a big meal when we come back. Jiangyang also rushed over to curry favor with them. I'm sorry, but we may not be free. We have other things to do when we go in. The competition system is really interesting this time. I think you should experience it yourself, it'll be conducive to your growth. Passerby spread his hands and smiled. This time, the 5 schools joint examination system was different from before and had become much more interesting. In the past, the participants would lose their qualifications if their number tags were robbed, but this time, they would still have their qualifications and would not be expelled from the arena. Instead, they would have to continue surviving in the monster wilderness for a month. Moreover, even if the participants lost their number tags, they could just grab someone else's. This competition system greatly increased the difficulty of the assessment and, at the same time, also exercised the students' abilities to cope in the wilderness. We've been friends for so many years, how could you two be so ruthless? It's just that we know we'll be eliminated this time and are afraid we can't even leave the arena. Without the number tags, we don't even have the means to ask for help. Won't we be dead in an instant if we meet a powerful monster? Yongju asked in dismay. Don't worry. Someone will surely come to save your life when you're about to be killed by the monster. Passerby laughed. Besides, all your pets are high-level slaves. Maybe they can even break through with the stimulus. I can't ruin the good deeds for you. He shrugged. The others were about to scold him again for being ruthless when their teacher, Wang Wenyi, walked in. She looked around the class and said, Everyone, properly fall in line in the field. The large transportation monster will be soon, so get ready. Soon, more than 300 pets from the entire grade were lined up in the field. Their town's 4th high school had not received any good grades for years, so it did not have many resources. The entire grade consisted of more than 400 students, and this was incomparable to those high schools in the city. It would be nice to know the specific location of the assessment in the monster wilderness. Chen Roshua sighed, thinking that it would be more conducive if they knew. I think it'll likely be in the periphery's remote areas. It's too dangerous further in for students who mostly only have servant pets. Passerby sighed and looked up in the sky. A 400 to 500 meter long scorpion with a flat body flew down from the distance and slowly landed in the middle of the field. Its gigantic size shocked all the students. Passerby was not surprised, for he had seen many gigantic monsters. This scorpion was nothing compared to that enormous kraken. Under the teacher's arrangements, everyone clambered on this ride in an orderly manner. As soon as the giant shield activated, the scorpion lifted everyone up. This scorpion was a mid-level commander monster, so its speed was naturally not slow. The Chinese redbud wilderness was relatively close to Carp Town, so it was estimated that they would arrive in about 10 minutes. Unlike normal circumstances, at present, their identities did not need to be checked before being permitted inside. A temporary passageway opened up for the scorpion to enter directly. Hey, this isn't heading to a remote area but to the Chinese redbud's crack, instead. Su-bai kind of admired the school's courage. In the end, they stopped on the left of the Chinese redbud's crack. Several large transport monsters stood in the distance with students from other schools on their backs. Stand where you are and I'll collect the number tags for you. Wang Wenyi instructed and turned to leave. Hey, do you know where this is? Yang Ju whispered to Su-bai. Yes, it's next to the Chinese redbud's crack, one of the two spatial cracks in the Chinese redbud monster wilderness. It shouldn't be too dangerous, he explained. You mean that it's not particularly dangerous to yourself, right? Su-bai glanced at him. Yes, what else? Yang Ju was speechless. What the F***CK? Everyone, take a number tag and I'll tell you about the safety precautions, said Wang Wenyi as she handed out the number tags. After confirming that everyone had received one, she began explaining. I've already explained the rules of the 5 schools entrance exam, so I won't be repeating myself. If you don't remember, read your notes. Now, I want to mainly talk about the degree of danger in the place you'll be entering soon. All monsters below the low-level commander have been left behind by the authorities. Although high-level warlords are relatively rare, there are still chances of meeting them, so don't be too arrogant and properly weigh your strength. Many treasures like spiritual plants have not been cleared, so it's your opportunity to find them. All of you are competitors after you go in, so you can snatch one another's number tags. You're forbidden from injuring people inside and it's even more not allowed to kill others. The whole arena is being monitored, and you'll bear the legal consequences if anything happens. Lastly, to those students who don't even know where to find food in the wilderness, I suggest that you don't eat random things and just stay hungry. The faces of the students changed immediately after hearing her advice. It seemed that the difficulty was not in the normal range this time. Also, what kind of advice was it to tell them that they should stay hungry? They were in the top classes, too, so should she be looking down on them so much? Without giving them time to complain, Wang Wenyi smiled and waved her hand. All right, goodbye, my lovely students. I wish you all good luck. She left after that. The transport monster took flight and sent them off. After walking a distance, Su-bai and the others were thrown into the monster wilderness by its spiritual power. Goodbye, Yang Ju. You can do it. Su-bai smiled and waved at them. The spiritual power had dropped him and the cub in a forest. The cub took the lead in exploring with forest's rhythm. Howl. There was nothing dangerous around here. The cub reported the surrounding situation to Su-bai. Nodding, Su-bai released the mewling fox. Sense the position of Chio-Chio. We'll head in that direction while checking the situation in the assessment area. Because the baby fox and its sister had the never walk alone skill, they could sense each other's position. This way, Su-bai could rendezvous with Chen Roshue. Hing. Nodding, the baby fox sensed the position of its sibling and shook its head. Bai, I'm temporarily unable to sense my sister. She's probably still inside the contract book. It's all right, then. Tell me when your sister comes out. They should still be on the scorpion's back right now, he said. Since he could not sense Chen Roshue's location in the meantime, he casually took a stroll around. Of course, he was not finding Chen Roshue to sweep the arena or anything. He alone could take first place. His plan was to wait until the last 3 days, at which time, the entire center of the stadium would send out a signal for everyone to rush back and report in 3 days. Su-bai would camp and intercept them from a certain spot. Winning would then be very simple. He had the strength now, unlike when he participated in the survival competition a few months ago and had to rely on strategy. Now, he could win by relying on his strength alone. He had approached Chen Roshue mainly to negotiate how to escape from the assessment area. They would head to the insect ruins beside this part to take a look and only return at the end of the month. Howl. After walking for a while, the cub suddenly let out a happy cry and trotted over to the front. Not long after, It returned while riding a 3-meter-long grey wolf with thorns tied to its neck. "Bye, this wolf said that walking is tough for us, so he'll carry us. Hurry up and get on him." The cub sat on the big wolf's back and looked at its owner. He chuckled and got onto the wolf's back. "Since this wolf is so good, then we won't eat him." The grey wolf was speechless. Subai rode the big wolf and traveled for a short distance when a big bird flew above, throwing some people into the forest not far away. "Howl. Bye, shall we head over?" "No, it's too boring to deal with a bunch of weaklings." He rode the wolf in the opposite direction. According to his observations, there was no volcano in that area. Hing. Bye, Cho Cho has appeared. She's right in front of us. The mewling fox mewled suddenly. "Okay, I see." Nodding, he asked the wolf to speed up. He wanted to meet Chen Roshue to go to the insect ruins as soon as possible, since staying in the assessment area was too meaningless. This was when he heard a loud noise from behind. A dozen or so people rushed over once he stopped. "Hey, don't run. Leave behind your number tag. Are you talking to me?" Subai smiled and pointed to himself. Judging by their school uniforms, this group of people were probably in the same class. He did not expect to run into trouble with others and to have a group of people running madly at him. Was it because he was alone? Who else? 12 people rushed over in an instant. Howl. Upon seeing them approach, Purple Jade let out an angry howl. A terrifying aura of a high-level warlord erupted from its body as Thorn's domain spread and enveloped them. Boom. The group of people fell face down to the ground with their pets, all subdued without even having a chance to attack. "Is First Middle School full of lousy weaklings like you?" Subai mocked, eyeing them disdainfully. A high-level warlord. This group of people were still immersed in shock and unable to recover. It felt too unrealistic to encounter such an extreme power the moment they entered. What the hell was happening? Moreover, they had never heard of anyone having this level of strength in 4th high school before, or else they would not have chased after him rashly. Take their numbers tags, hypnotize their pets, and bury them. "I want these people to be hung on trees," Subai instructed expressionlessly. F***CK. "Big brother, we were wrong. Here are our number tags, please don't." The next moment, they felt choked and speechless. After being hypnotized, their pets buried themselves with only their heads exposed, while they themselves were hung on trees. "You're welcome to find me for revenge any time." Subai chuckled. "Oh, by the way, I'm doing this because of the Waterfire twins." After speaking, he rode away on the big wolf. The big wolf sighed in relief, laughing at the guys who dared provoke this kind of demon boss. They were really seeking their deaths. With the mewling fox guiding them and the big grey wolf transporting them, Subai quickly found Chen Roshue. "You're finally here. My side happens to be closer to the insect ruins, right at the edge. Let's sneak out from here," Chen Roshue quickly said when Subai approached. "Okay." He nodded, opened the contract book, and released the little tyrant to dig a tunnel. Roar. The couple found a place to activate internal breath while the dino dug a hole in front. Since they were sneaking out, they naturally could not leave any flaws on the ground. Subai entered the hole and asked the dino to dig a stone chamber. "Let's change our clothes right here and keep these number tags on this spot. We'll retrieve them when we get back." He took out a fluorescent stone and walked into the stone chamber. "Turn around and don't peek," Chen Roshue glanced at him and said. "Don't worry, I won't peek." Nodding, Subai turned around and started to change his clothes. It was impossible to slip out wearing their school uniforms. Soon after he finished changing, he turned around to see Chen Roshue in a pink bra and underpants. Her perfect figure was exposed in front of him. Her pinkish-white legs were straight and slender, while her snow-white waist was like a willow tree, thinner than a full arm's grip. Her entire body was exquisite and elegant, with a full figure beyond what a young girl should have. Cute pink bra and underpants. "You look so beautiful and cute," he said while chuckling. "You're shameless." Chen Roshue's pretty face turned red. She covered her chest with one hand and tried to punch her boyfriend with the other. Laughing, he hugged her and said, "Baby, hurry up and change your clothes. It's not like I haven't seen it before." "You said, You would wait for me to finish changing my clothes. She glared at him, blushing even harder. In order to prevent the shameless boy from watching further, she hurriedly changed into a grey mountaineer outfit. Passerby activated the 1000 Variations summoner skill and changed his appearance to an old man. Couldn't you change into a more handsome face? Chen Roshue stared speechlessly at him. She had changed into a young girl, but why the hell was he an old man? Isn't an old man and a young girl compatible? The main thing is I haven't changed my original handsomeness. Chuckling, he changed his appearance into a handsome man with scars on his face, which was full of murderous intentions. Okay, keep digging, little tyrant. Because the underground cave was inconvenient, he had kept the other pets into his contract book. Raw.